Hey everyone, video number 3 in the series. It might be noisy here, there's a lot of people in the house, but I mean, I don't care. This is rounds 3 and 4 from the ALOHA tournament, still haven't been paid. I've contacted the USCF and, you know, I guess I won't get paid. The checks were mailed, but I don't believe that, so, since they were mailed a week ago, in theory. Theory and practice are the same in theory, but not in practice. I'm not as mad as I normally would be because I'm not really surprised I'm not getting paid. These things happen. Anyway, this is round 3, which I won, and round 4, which I drew. In round 5, I took a half-point bye because I had to fly to St. Louis to teach a chess camp. So let's get to it. I'm black against Damir Cremisi. He's a 2300 player. I think he's about 15. He lives in North Carolina, so I saw him a lot at the Charlotte Chess Center. And I've played him before, too, a couple times. Okay, so I was going to play my funny Benoni with d5, e5, which I've shown you in many videos. Daniel played e3. And we transposed into sort of a Grunfeld type of position because I played an early d5. So if I just play a Grunfeld, for example, and he plays e3, which is sort of passive, we could get this position. In fact, why don't I show you, because you're probably confused. Okay, so let's play a Grunfeld, because you can't have more fun than that. And then let's play e3, bishop e2 is a line, and then c5, and this is the game. So, by transposition, of course. Okay, so we got this position, he castled. And now, this position is another opening. In fact, I think this is my game with Gorovets from a year ago, which I drew in the last round of one of the St. Louis Norm tournaments. Although I'm not sure it was a Norm tournament or a GM tournament, I'm not sure. I think we had this position also. And if you're good at imagining stuff, which you're not, but try anyway, imagine I have the white pieces, so just turn my pieces white and turn his pieces black. And then if it was my move, this is a position with thousands of Grandmaster games. This is the Queen's Gambit Tarish variation. And this is a lot of Karpov-Kasparov games from their matches in the 80s, and I guess maybe 90s, maybe. I'm not sure the 90s if Kasparov still played the Tarish. And bishop g5 is the main move, which in this position would be bishop to g4. The computer won't even let me show you because it's not my turn. And the reason it's not my turn is I'm black, so it's white's turn. But if I was white, it would be my turn, and bishop g5 is the main move. Again, it's bishop g5 because white's playing it. So this is a very common position with me to move, and it's considered better for me. It's my opponent's move, so I guess it's equal. But that's okay, I'm black. So. Okay, now my opponent played very passively the rest of the game, probably trying to draw. That's what a lot of low-rated players do. They don't play good moves, they just play to draw, and they lose. So this move I would never consider. If I was white, I'd probably consider h3, which stops bishop g4. I would consider rook e1, which puts the rook on an open file. I would consider a3, so my bishop has the a2 square in case it gets attacked, which is what happened. And he played bishop e3, which is just really passive, and it blocks the e file. That's not a good move. Okay, I wasn't sure what to do, so I decided to fight for c4. I played knight a5. Obviously, if he had played a3, he could play bishop a2 now, but if he wants to save his bishop, he has to move it. And then I play bishop e6, and I'm trying to go to c4. And he really surprised me here, although he does stop me from going to c4. And I have more things to do, like rook c8, so I can attack c4 some more. Played b3, which is really weakening, and I thought was terrible. And then, of course, the engine says it's fine. So, okay. So, now I was pretty proud of what I did. I had a long think, and I decided I wanted to play rook to d8, which, of course, is illegal. And then my rook is opposite his queen. But I didn't see a good square for my queen. And then, even though I'm a vegetarian, I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, which is very metaphorical. 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, it's not a simile. Okay, so I wanted to move my queen, and my knight on a5 really doesn't have a purpose anymore because I can't play knight c4, so I played knight c6. Now my knight's back in the game, and I have the a5 square for my queen, which can't really be harassed too easily, or so I thought. And in this position, I thought we were going to put our rooks in the middle, and I prefer black, and the computer says it's about equal, but I think it likes black a little bit. I mean, he has an isolated pawn, and b3 is sort of weird because his knight on c3 isn't protected as much. But he shocked me with the move knight b5. The day after the game, he said, "What did I do wrong?" And I was thinking, well, b3 is not a good move, but knight b5 is like out of this world nonsensical, because in isolated pawn positions, white's trying to get an active position, and black's trying to blockade the pawn and get to a nice endgame, because one has an isolated pawn. So, you know, because he has control of e5 and c5, he wants to put knights there and bishops there and rooks there. He might want to harass my queen later with a3, b4, which is hard to do because b3 pawn's hanging. He plays a3. But anyway, after this, I trade queens, and he doesn't really have a good way to recapture. Actually, he thought a few minutes here. This might have been his longest thing of the game, which is funny. Because capturing either way is bad. You're undefending your d-pawn, and you're putting your piece on a square you don't want to. I think they're equally bad. He took with a knight. I don't think it matters much. He wants to play knight c7, so I stopped it. And then he wants to play bishop takes knight on d5, and then play knight c7. So I stopped knight c7. And he took my knight and played knight c3. Now, this has a little tactical trick. I think in the long run here, he's just going to lose a pawn because his d-pawn is protected by his knight on b5, so I can just play a6. So yeah, I don't see how he can save his pawn in the long run. So this has a trick to it. If I take it with a knight, which seems sort of obvious, just by taking everything, he gets his pawn back. I can't play rook takes knight because my rook's hanging. So I have to trade here first. He plays his Zwischenzug. And this should just be a draw. So that wouldn't be good, but I have other ways to take on d4. I took with the bishop, and that just wins a pawn. And the reason is, if he plays the same way, I have knight e2 check. So he took on d5, but if he plays the exact same way I just showed you, you know, instead of the bishop on d4, I have a knight, so knight e2 check just wins. Okay, so this just wins a pawn. I'm a pawn up. And nothing much happened the rest of the game. I was up a pawn, and I advanced my majority Capablanca style. Not very interesting game. I just pushed my pawns and moved my king up. I mean, I don't have much to say about it. Rook d7, I'll say something about that. I wanted to put my knight on f4, so I was thinking about doing this. And I was thinking if I ever moved my knight, rook c7 would be good. So I just stopped that by playing rook d7. Okay, he stopped knight f4. I decided trading rooks was the easiest way to win because, you know, I want my king to go up to the 4th rank, but if his rook's on the 4th rank, I can't really do anything. But if he doesn't have a rook, my king can walk in on either side of the board, I guess. My king's actually better than his, other than me being a pawn up, because my king's on the 3rd rank, his is on the 2nd rank, and I can go to the 4th rank pretty quickly. So, advance my majority again. Advance my majority. And now knight c3 is pretty annoying, because these pawns are pretty weak, and I'm going to attack them with my knight, so he stopped me. And I got my king to the 4th rank, as I explained. And yeah, pretty easy win. And here, after b6, which is an important move too, because I don't want his knight to get active, after the move king f1, stopping me from playing king g2, I mean, I have to watch out for knight d2 mate, because luckily I'm stopping that with my knight on c4, but my knight on c4 can't move. Also, if I play e4, he has knight d4 mate. So there's too many mates, so I move my king back, because I don't want to get mated. And then advance my majority again, and keep advancing my majority. And every move wins here, but I think knight d2 is the simplest. And in fact, the engine says knight d2 is like mate in 14 or something. Maybe it's quicker if you leave the engine on for a couple minutes. and he resigned. Obviously, he can, I mean, take stuff, but eventually I'm going to come over here and win. So after knight d2 check, he resigned. So that was a pretty easy game because I won a pawn, like I moved 15-ish, and then I was just to pawn up the rest of the game. I think he made 3 mistakes that game. b3 I don't think is a good move. Knight b5 is not a good move, for sure. And there's one other move he made which I thought, well, okay, e3 on move 3 is basically giving up any try for an advantage. I mean, not play e3 if you're trying to get a better position. It doesn't really test black at all. It's not a bad move, it's just not very aggressive. So that was my win against Daniel Cremisi, 2300 something. He lost in the last round to Ron Burnett, and that cost me some money. If he had drawn, then I would have tied for first with Zapata. It cost me money, I didn't get paid, so it didn't cost me anything. Not yet. My wife assures me I will get paid. So I called Vegas and placed a bet, but they wouldn't put any odds on it, so I can't. Maybe I should bet on Mayweather. Interesting. Yeah. For those of you at home who are not too bright, which is most of you, I mean, I know I rag on Trump a lot, and some of you like Trump because you have some brain damage or something. But, I mean, McGregor has a 0% chance of winning. I have a better chance than McGregor, and I'm not kidding, because I'm huge. So I could, like, fall on Mayweather, and he might die. I wonder if I would win if I fell on him and he'd die. Nah, I'd probably get disqualified. He'd probably still win if he died. Dang. I still think I have a better chance than McGregor, because if he has a 0% chance, then I might have 0.0000111% chance. Nah, that's probably too many ones. 0.000001. And I think it's interesting. Nobody agrees with me, including you at home, because, you know, again, you have some... I think if you took the best female boxer in the world, the best, who weighed over 150, somewhere between 150 and 180, somewhere in there, that would be an interesting match with McGregor, because he can't box and she can box. And the weight's about the same. So that would be interesting to me. I guess he's the favorite. Everybody says he'd win easily. But there's no way that he's a bigger favorite than Mayweather is. So therefore, I'm correct. That fight is more interesting. Maybe she can't win. Maybe. But he can't win against Mayweather. So I've never been so mad. The reason I'm mad isn't because they're fighting. It's very smart for both people. Everybody involved, I agree with fighting and all that because they make a lot of money. What's weird is the odds should be like 150 to 1, and they're like 4 to 1 or 5 to 1. So we live in a very stupid world because a person who has no chance, they think, has like a 25% chance of winning. Okay. Anyway, that's my commercial for Mayweather. Go Mayweather. And it'll be very funny if McGregor wins, then I'll be here, you know, explaining why I was right anyway. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, 0% chance. I can't even believe they're fighting, but I guess for 75 million, good reason to fight. Okay. Unlike me, McGregor may actually get paid. Okay, let's go to the next game. I'm not sure how to do that, but let's do it anyway. Okay. Well, there we go. I did it, and I was white. Now, in the last round, I'm white against my opponent. I always forget his name. What's funny is, I remember now, he has the same name as a banker that I used to see in St. Louis. That's why I forget, because I don't like the associate. Anyway, his name is Damir Studen. I've played him before 2 years ago in North Carolina in Asheville. What's the name of that tournament? It's not called Asheville. I mean, that's the name of the city, but I forgot the name of the tournament. Oh, Land of the Sky, or In the Sky, or On the Sky. On the Sky, I'm kidding. Land in the Sky? Land of the Sky? Land of the Sky, I think. And we drew. I was white, and I got nothing, and I was worse, and I was lucky to draw. And now we're playing again, and once again, it was a draw. I actually prepared this the night before, and I got nothing, and the computer says I played great, and I'm better, but I don't believe the computer. So I played the Exchange Slav, which I play a lot. He played the Slav against me 2 years ago, and I played a funny line, and I got nothing. And I played the Perelstein variation. I'm calling it the Perelstein variation, but nobody else does. It's Bishop G5, because Eugene Perelstein plays that every time. I've never played it. I've analyzed it a lot because whenever I'm black against Perlstein, I'm like ready for this because he plays it a lot. And he hasn't played it against me, but he will someday. And there's a lot of book moves here. Knight e4 is the really tricky line that I did a lot of analysis on. He just let me take the knight. So, I mean, the engine says white's better, but I don't know. Okay. And it's just really boring because it's an exchange Slav. Yeah, this is where I had my huge think. Yeah. So I had a huge think here, like, I don't know, 15 minutes. And I was trying to figure out what to do, and the computer's like, I'm up 0.2, I'm up 0.3, I'm up 0.4. And I don't know why, because I don't know what to do. Probably the problem is the opening. The exchange Slav doesn't give a lot. So even people who played all the time for a win, like Varakobian, Levon Aronian, there's other people, Kramnik sometimes, they still have a lot of draws. It's just hard to win. Yasser Sarawan, when he was active in the 80s and 90s, played exchange Slav for a win. But I didn't know what to do. The computer says just do nothing and move around and you're better. But I'm not sure why exactly. Okay, so I played knight a4 because I want to play knight c5. And I thought he had to take my knight and give up his 2 bishops. And I thought, okay, maybe he won't. So then I'm better. I play knight c5. And he took basically without thinking. So that was the end of that. I got rid of his 2 bishops. And then in this position, I thought a long time as well. And again, I didn't see any way to do anything where I could get an advantage. I thought a long time. And I almost played queen d1. But I decided since I would be clear first or tie for first if I drew, and I didn't think I was getting anything and I had less time, and I had to catch a flight. And let's see, a friend came in from out of town. Blues Brothers doesn't sue me. And there was tidal waves and earthquake, locusts. Yeah. So don't sue me, Blues Brothers. Now, you guys all forgot that movie before you were born. Don't you guys do anything? Anyway, so I took his queen and offered a draw, and I think he accepted the draw before I offered it. I don't know how he accepted so quickly. I mean, it's just all zero. It's just a boring position. So I got nothing that game. The computer doesn't agree with me. It says I'm doing great. I played great. And I'm like, oh, I got nothing. So I don't know if it was round 1, I probably would play on forever and not trade queens. But it's hard to turn down all the money that I'm not going to get because I never get paid. It's hard to turn that down. And then I flew to St. Louis and taught a chess camp. Probably my last time in St. Louis, unfortunately, unless I visit my son and his girlfriend, which is possible. And there's a couple reasons for that. I won't get into them, but I mean, I'm starting my own chess center here with my wife, so I can't like leave for a week or 2 weeks like I've been doing and abandon my chess center for another chess center. So, and I think main reason I'm not coming back is, other than I probably can't, is there's so many GMs now who can work at the chess club. I'm just one of them. I think the first 2 or 3 years they were open, it wasn't clear if other GMs could work there, or if they did a good job, or if their English was good, or if they had a work visa, or whatever. There were lots of issues. And they've been open for about 9 years now, the chess club in St. Louis. So they know almost every GM in the world, and they know who can give classes and who can do commentary and all that. And they probably have about 50 people to choose from. So how often can I go anyway? So since I'm opening my own chess center, I'll probably do it here. So you guys are going to miss me like yelling at Arjun and, you know, Claudio, and I'll miss those guys too, Mario. But I'll have some people at the chess club here in Atlanta, that's where I live, where I can yell at them and make fun of them too. Those guys are everywhere. Don't worry about it. Okay, so like and subscribe here on YouTube, and go to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I never mentioned Instagram. And follow me and like me and subscribe and whatever. I don't know what it's called, but do all that stuff. Do what I say. And like that. Grand opening is September 9th. You're all welcome to come. Free food and drinks. And we're having a Blitz tournament at 1 p.m. on September 9th. If you can't remember that, pretend you're German and remember 9-9. Then you can easily remember. If you go to the website, atlchessclub.com, we have an events page, we have a calendar, and we have tournaments every day, every month, every week, classes, everything's listed. So you can find all of our information. You can email me, you can send me a message here, which I will delete, rawr, never been so bad, and so forth. Okay, tomorrow, what I'll probably do is make I'll start making videos from the Syncfill Cup because the commentary is, not the best. The live commentary, of course, they don't really have any forethought, and they're doing a live show, and they're going to commercial, and they have cameras on them, and they're nervous, and there's a million people watching online, and the producers do this. It's hard to do good chess analysis because you're busy doing other stuff. And also, it's hard to do chess analysis of 5 games for 5 hours because it gets sort of boring. So they have to do some other stuff. But I can do chess analysis and show you guys and prepare it and have the games already analyzed for me. So that's... I guess the most interesting game yesterday was... When I say yesterday, I mean today, but for tomorrow's video, it'll be yesterday. Was Anand's victory over Fabiano Caruana. In fact, the Americans did badly today. We got half out of 3, and the wrong American drew. But what are you going to do? And Wesley had a strange game. He was much better, and then he was lost 3 moves later, which actually is very reminiscent of the game that Magnus lost to MVL. He was much better or winning, and then he was lost 3 moves later. So it's very strange. I guess being better is a bad idea, as Levon Aronian has pointed out. Okay, hope you guys liked the video. And remember to donate because we're opening in less than 5 weeks. And it costs a lot of money to open. Hopefully you never find out by opening your own chess center how expensive it is to do everything. So just come to my chess center and do everything for free. All right, see you guys tomorrow, guys. Bye.